YouTube, what's poppin'? This your boy Ink in the Brain. We back at it like a bad habit, man. All right, so today I'm gonna touch on recidivism, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all about my one of my associates. He did 12 years in the California Department of Corrections, and looks like he's gonna go back to the joint. So I'm gonna touch on that, tell you what it's for. You know what I'm saying? So that's the purpose of this video. So recidivism means what's the likelihood of you coming back to prison? So once you get released, what's the likelihood of you catching another case and going back to the joint? All right, so that's what recidivism means. Now, I always heard about that, like even before I went down, and it's crazy for me to be talking about this because I never would have thought I would have ended up in prison. But hey, stuff happens in life. You feel me? So anybody can end up in the joint. But I always used to think like, man, if I ever went to prison, I would never go back. That was always my thought process. And that's still my process to this day. I'm not ever going back to the joint. To be honest, like, I wasn't even supposed to go to begin with, but that's neither here nor there because I had to go. Got my time out the way, got off parole, and now I'm here to tell y'all my story, right? But it was always crazy to me how somebody could do a lot of time in the penitentiary and then go back to the streets and then catch another case and go back to the joint. You feel me? I always thought that always blew my mind, right? I was reading about like the percentages of races. What's the percentage by race of who goes back to prison? Black people have the highest recidivism rate. It's like 50.4% or like 51.4%, something like that. Second highest is white people. They have like a 44% recidivism rate. So yeah, man, for black people, more than half of the time, you got more than half of a chance, more than 50% of the time, they're expecting you to go back to prison. So I make sure, just the way I live my life now, that will never happen. But it happens all the time. People go in and out. When I was locked up, I met so many people on there like 6 bid, 5th and 6th bid. It was insane. And I'll never forget this. When I was on the 2-yard, I don't know if I mentioned this on my channel before, but when I was on the 2-yard and I was just wrapping up my bid, ready to come home, I met this old school cat, this Mexican cat, Chicano. He was like in his, I want to say, late 50s, early 60s. Man, had a real bad drug problem. He had meth mouth, teeth looking like he was chewing on rocks his whole life. You feel me? And I remember him telling me, he was like, yeah, Inky, cause he was like, man, ain't you finna go home soon? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm about to be out of here in a minute. He's like, okay, man. He's like, that's what's up, man. He's like, man, I hope I don't, he's like, I really hope this time is my last, cause this is my 6th bid. I said, yeah, 6th time being down? He's like, yeah, it's like my 6th time, man. And he was like, I just get into these modes where, I get locked up, I get free, I start getting high again, I start spending all my money, and then I'm broke. And then he's like, and then I gotta take a risk to get my money back up. But I know if I get arrested, or he said, I gotta take a risk to get my money back up. And I know if I get caught, at least the state will take care of me, by the time I'm incarcerated. I was like, bro, what? He literally said that when he gets down in his luck, he just gonna take a risk. And if he gets caught, fuck it, I'm cool with it. The state will take care of me for my time down. You feel me? I'll get a yard TV from the homies. That was his mentality. 60 years old, on like his 6th bid. I'll never forget that. So I want to touch on recidivism real quick, man. If you're watching this and you find a case, you feel me? Hey, you gotta beat the statistics, bro. Don't go back and forth in and out of jail, in and out of prison, bro. That shit is out. So back to my brody, right? So I got a homie from East Oakland, right? Now I didn't meet him when I was living in the Bay. I actually met him when I moved out to AZ, but I met his little brother first, and then I met him when he got released and shit. But yeah, long story short, he from the town and shit, and when he was like 16, he was a minor, but they charged him as an adult. But he was like 16 years old, and there was that dice game, and y'all know what happens at dice games in the hood, right? So they had a dice game, man. One thing lead to another, man, and bro pull out his strap and shoot this dude in the face, hit him in his eye, but dude survived. He didn't die, luckily. So yeah, he shot dude in the face. He run off. He go on a run. Excuse me. He go on a run. And long story short, his mom convinced him to turn himself in. And he actually came out to Arizona when he was on a run. And so yeah, she convinced him to turn himself in. He ended up turning himself in, man. He got a lawyer that was trying to hang him. But he ended up copping out to something. I forget what it was, aggravated assault with deadly weapon or something. But they gave him 12 years because of it. All right. So it probably was more severe than aggravated assault. But or maybe they ran him consecutive with other charges. But yeah, they hit him with 12 years, right? So boom. So he goes sit down in the California Department of Corrections, which mind you, I mean, I never got locked up in Cali, but I heard just from what I'm hearing, it's the hardest place to do time. So, cause he's in there getting down. He was involved in riots. He got stabbed before in a riot and shit. So he went through a lot in his bid, man. 12 years, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was going through things like he was on a yard where the COs were mainly Mexican, and Mexicans they funk with blacks heavy, right? So he was dealing with like the COs was popping his door open and Mexicans was running in, packing them out. You feel me? He dealing with shit like that, getting into riots. You feel me? So he went through a lot. So I'm like, damn. And like it's crazy because when he came home, that's when I met him, and then I had just caught my case like right after I met him. So when I caught my case, you know, I'm staying in contact with him, and he just gave me game like. Well, that was a little early. I met him when I caught the case, but I didn't know I was going to prison till like a year and a half later, or 2 years later. So by the time I'm going through litigations and I'm knowing I'm about to go away, that's when I started to confide in him and tell him about my case and things like that. And then he started giving me game about what to expect in the penitentiary, how to handle myself. You know, he's telling me prison stories, things like that. So that's how I know this shit, right? He's kind of like my prison mentor in a way. Cause like I said, I gotta go to the joint. He just did 12 years, so he kind of gave me game, kicking me some game on how to approach my bid. And yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it was what it was, man. And he actually was the first person I told I was going to prison because I knew that he's been through it before. Like even my close homeboys, even my cousins. I didn't even tell my cousins this yet, but I told him first. Just because, you know, like I said, we both from the same area, you feel me? He did his time in Cali, I'm doing my time here, so we kind of had a bond a little bit. Yeah, man, so I got a lot of game on how to move in the joint, right? All right, so boom. So think of this, y'all. You 16 years old, you shoot somebody in the face, you almost killed somebody, but you didn't. Now you got to go away for 12 years, right? He come home. And bro was doing good when he came home because he actually ended up moving out here with his brother and his mom and shit like that when he got released from Cali. Moved out here. He came out swole as hell long hair. You know what I mean? Hella tatted. But bro was doing good. He got him a nice solid job. He was making some good money. Had a call center making real good money. And when I seen him, he had a nice little Mexican chick with him. He just got he had just bought a brand new Kia. So bro rocking. He really rocking. You feel me? I'm like, okay, cool. I'm glad to see bro got out from doing over a decade and he's doing well now. Man. And on a side note, well, nah, I ain't gonna say that. But man, fast forward to now, man, bro just caught another case, right? Now he caught a case for human smuggling. So he went to the border. Like I said, I'm in Arizona, and this happens a lot out here. He met somebody. I guess he told him about an opportunity to make some bread. Very common occurrence out here, but got caught up doing it, man. went down to Mexico, picked up some immigrants, tried to transport them back into the state. Bloop, 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 bloop. And the rest is history. So now he's fighting this case, and from what I'm hearing, they about to give him like 8 years because of that. You feel me? Because he already convicted felon. I don't think he was on parole. He might have been on papers. Don't quote me on that. But like I said, he was a convicted felon already. So they gonna double hang you when you already got that jacket on your back, man. So yeah, I was surprised to hear that, man. I was like, damn, bro, because bro was doing real good. It sounded like he was sick and tired of prison, which after 12 years of being locked up, doing time, count time, morning count time, showering with other niggas, eating shitty processed food, all this bullshit, not getting no pussy unless you got game, no knock-a-CO, all this shit will drive you nuts. And for somebody to do that much time and catch another case, it speaks volumes, man. It speaks volumes to what somebody will do for some damn money. You dig what I'm saying? Because that risk is not worth it. I mean, 12 years of your life gone, I'm trying to get that 12 back and double that. And he just got released like 5-6 years ago. So, but now he's gonna go back to the joint. You know what I mean? Now I don't know what his case is looking like. I don't know if he has action at beating it. I don't know. But what I do know is that these cases happen all the time out here. And if they caught him red-handed with some illegals, it's gonna be hard to beat it. So now it's just a matter of are you gonna take it to the box and try to beat these people, or are you just gonna cop out? If they offer you the 8, like I said, if they offer you 8, you gonna take it, or you gonna take it to the box and really risk a lot more time and have to spend maybe 20 years because of this shit. You feel me? So yeah, man. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this, man. If you caught a case before, you're a convicted felon, hey man, you better walk light. You better walk light out here. I gotta tell myself this every single day. All right? Don't be out here drinking and driving. Don't be out here doing illegal drugs without no prescription. Don't be hitting no licks. Don't even shoplift. You better be on your best behavior as a convicted felon, unless you want to go back to the joint. You dig what I'm saying? That's why the recidivism rate is so high, because in my opinion, a lot of people kind of get down their luck. You know, society has a way of ostracizing you when you got that F on your report card. You know, make it hard for you to get jobs and things like that. Or I'll put it in air quote, make it hard for you to get jobs, because I'm not saying I'm rich or nothing, but I'm doing all right for being a convicted felon, just getting released from prison last year. I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? Pushing the benzo, got my house on debt, but let me remain humble. I had my shit together before I went down, which is the biggest reason why I got my shit together now. So let me remain humble, man. But don't make no excuses for yourself, y'all. When there's a will, there's a way, man. And honestly, fuck what society has to say about you. Really. You know what I'm saying? Make a way for yourself. Get your licenses. There's a lot of licenses that you can get with a F on your report card. So do your research, man. But there's a lot of ways to make legal money. And I don't want to see y'all doing no illegal activity to get y'all back in the penitentiary. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, this your boy Inky. Y'all hit the like button if y'all like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be smooth.